Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. So this story originally came out Tuesday, June 7th, but I decided to wait till today, Wednesday, June 8th to cover it because yesterday was my birthday. Man, when this story came out yesterday, it felt like a personal attack since it had to do with the Orlando Pride, a team that I love and have been following since last season. And it was released on my birthday. Like, it's happy birthday, not F you, your birthday, and your feelings. Anyway, mini rant aside, let's get into it. So, Orlando Pride head coach Amanda Cromwell and assistant coach Sam Greene have been placed on administrative leave pending the results of the ongoing joint investigation conducted by the NWSL and the NWSL Players Association. The Pride statement reads, Orlando Pride announces Amanda Cromwell and Sam Greene placed on administrative leave. Orlando Pride head coach Amanda Cromwell and first assistant coach Sam Greene have been placed on a temporary administrative leave with immediate effect pending the results of a current investigation, the club announced today, June 7th. The decisions come following recommendations from the National Women's Soccer League, NWSL, and the NWSL Players Association joint investigative team. This is an interim step while the investigation is ongoing, and no final determinations or conclusions have been reached. In the interim, assistant coach Seb Hines has been appointed to coach the Pride. Providing a respectful environment and adhering to all league policies are of the utmost priority for the Pride. The club is committed to fully cooperating with the joint investigative team through the conclusion of this process. As this is an ongoing investigation, the club will have no further comment at this time. So I brought this up in past videos, but this is part of the ongoing joint investigation by the NWSL and the NWSL's Players Association that started back in October 2021. The investigation is meant to look into past and current allegations of abuse, harassment, complaints, misconduct, systematic issues, etc. When it comes to Amanda Cromwell and Sam Greene, according to the NWSL and the Players Association, they are being investigated for alleged retaliation in violation of the NWSL policy to prevent and eliminate workplace discrimination, harassment, and bullying. The investigation is still ongoing and no final determinations and conclusions have been reached. Feel free to pause the video and read through the whole press release if you'd like. So, retaliation, according to the U.S. Department of Labor, occurs when an employer, through a manager, supervisor, administrator, or directly, fires an employee or takes any other type of adverse action against an employee for engaging in protected activity. An adverse action is an action which would dissuade a reasonable employee from raising a concern about a possible violation or engaging in other related protected activity. Retaliation can have a negative impact on overall employee morale. This is very serious. There have been many coaches in the past that have threatened retaliation and have retaliated against players. Rory Dames, former coach of the Chicago Red Stars, instantly comes to mind. Kristen Press, when she reported him, feared that he was going to retaliate against her. Richie Burke, former Washington Spirit coach, had also threatened retaliation against players by threatening to trade them, fire them, bench them, remove them, and so on. A lot of players and victims of abuse are afraid to come forward because they're afraid they may not be believed. They're afraid nothing will get done, and they're also afraid their abuser or coach will retaliate against them. The fact that both Cromwell and Greene are alleged to have retaliated against a player or players just makes it even worse because two coaches ganging up on you, threatening you, coming at you is terrifying and very intimidating for the player/players. I can imagine you feel like more trapped and just backed into a corner. When I was reviewing the details of this story, another player who played under Cromwell at UCLA came to mind, and that player is Mia Official. Mia Official was selected by the Orlando Pride in the NWSL 2022 draft last year, and many Pride fans and people thought she would sign with the Pride because of Cromwell and Greene being the coaches of the Pride and being her former coaches. Instead, Mia Official decided to sign with Tigres in the Liga MX Femenil, Mexico's women's league. I can't help but wonder if during Mia's time playing at UCLA, Cromwell and Greene may have said something, retaliated, or threatened retaliation against Mia, or maybe she had witnessed them doing this to her teammates. I've been covering a lot of abuse scandals in the NWSL, and I noticed there were oftentimes a trail of victims dating back years before things would come to light. However, according to insiders Meredith Cash, there is no record of misconduct from either Cromwell or Greene during their time at UCLA. Hopefully that is the case and there was no harm done to Mia or her UCLA teammates. Hopefully there are no other victims, because that would just make this even worse than it already is. We won't know until the investigation concludes. Going back to the Pride, no conclusion has been reached just yet. And once again, the investigation into Amanda Cromwell and Sam Greene is still ongoing. Seb Hines will be taking the reins and acting as the Pride interim head coach. Honestly, this whole situation is just awful and horrible. There is no other way around it, no other way for me to say it. If these allegations are true, it's really messed up. No coach should be retaliating or threatening their players. I'm glad players came forward to report it. I'm glad the NWSL is working to protect their players. The joint investigation with the NWSL and NWSL Players Association, while still ongoing, is working. Anyway, the Orlando Pride really can't catch a break, can they? Definitely a difficult and tough situation for the team to be in. I love this team, especially with how much they grew and developed together. It's still a team that needs more work, but despite what happened with Cromwell and Greene, the Pride team will pull through this together like they always do, and will continue to grow and get better as the season goes on. As always, thank you to the players and staff for coming forward to assist in the joint investigation. Thank you to all the victims of abuse for coming forward and sharing your stories. It's not an easy thing to do. I wish nothing but love and healing to the Orlando Pride team and its players moving forward. That is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.